So TVS Atlanta was the first project achieved both their LEED and WELL certification using the Streamlined pathway. This was back in 2023, but so we did go through with them kind of what the pros and cons were, what they learned from it. And so in asking them kind of why they chose to pursue both LEED and WELL, these were kind of the top reasons they gave us was attracting talent, validation, and a continuation of sustainability journey, that it was a differentiator making between other projects and other buildings in the market, and alignment with the mission that either the project team, the owner. And then the one challenge that they said was for this project, they had a very tight construction project. So they were trying to use reused materials and HVAC equipment and kind of strategically place materials that they had. One of the benefits was the sound testing included in the performance verification budget, allowed them to achieve 2 LEED points that they would not have gotten otherwise, because that was already in the budget for the testing. And so that allowed them to get LEED Platinum certification. Without that, they would have gotten gold. Materials for LEED especially requires a lot of documentation and tracking. And sometimes the thresholds are slightly different between the two programs. So just making sure that you know and are aware what the threshold differences are depending on which one you're pursuing. And the benefit obviously save the project team time, and by having things aligned, the communication with contractors and subcontractors, by having kind of everything under one umbrella, made their communication easier. The other kind of benefit, they were able to get some innovation points by using the Streamlined pathway and by using the other certification. By just achieving some of the WELL preconditions, they were able to get 3 of their 5 LEED innovation points. Those were kind of just some of the highlights they presented on kind of what they've achieved through that project. One of the things they thought that teams should consider were getting your project goals established early on. You can establish the goals, the more you can get the approach that you're pursuing to align. Timing, some are on a much tighter timeline. Some have goals when they want the certification for announcements, or maybe there's contractual obligations or things like that. The required documentation was the other consideration. The documentation is different between the two systems. And so theirs was just kind of taking time to consider which documentation path they wanted to utilize. And so choosing one or the other so that they didn't have to do both. And then the cost implementation, because there are variations in requirements between the two systems, there can sometimes be a cost differential in kind of building the project, whether it's testing that's required for it or things like that. So there can be aspects to that that do have kind of a cost implication.